And now, insurance-minded speeches from Geico.
It's a common expression, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. However, what if the horse's mouth is filled with useful insurance tools? This is the exact case with the Geico app. Yes, the app is free and therefore a gift horse. However, look inside the app and behold, emergency roadside assistance, digital ID cards, bill pay. Get the Geico app. Look it in the mouth. Get amazing services. Thank you.
We are the New York Knicks. I'm back in the New York groove. Well, it's the Knicks. New York. We are the New York Knicks. New York. For this new season we're about to enter, the Knicks taking no shorts just like winter. New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is
K-N-I-C-K-S.
Everybody say go New York, go New York, go!
Hey, welcome to episode 300 and Porzingis of the New York Podzingus.
Well, joining us tonight is Porzingis Marc and Porzingis Jay.
As you can tell, we're a little excited about Porzingis.
Since our last recording, the Knicks have won 4 straight games, and they've told ESPN to predict my ass. The Knicks have been dominant. Porzingis has emerged as Jay's wet fantasy. And so with this, I think it's time to record. Well, I'm thinking that, Jay, I know we just started the show, but I feel like this might happen, and you may not be around for it. You may off yourself when this happens or hurt yourself or be in the hospital. And so I wanted to record this ahead of time. I know this is too good to be true. I know the basketball gods are setting us up for devastating failure because Porzingis looks like the second coming. He looks like the best Knick we've had since Ewing. No offense to Melo. I mean, the best with potential. No offense to Melo or anyone else that has played pretty well. But Porzingis looks like the light at the end of this awful tunnel we've gone through as Knick fans. And so anyway, I wanted to record maybe the opening for the episodes when we have to deal with the calamity that happens to Porzingis. So, I mean, a very easy one would be, hey Jay, I can't believe what happened to Porzingis. I'm so sad. I cannot believe he tore his ACL and he's done for the season.
I don't think I like this bit.
No. But then, I'm gonna. So that would be the most obvious one to happen. But let's just talk about. I talk about because it's the basketball god and they're setting up for such calamitous failure. Let's talk about the other things that might happen to Porzingis. So start the recording again, Jay. Jay, I can't believe what happened to Porzingis. I cannot believe Donald Trump became president and kicked out all immigrants from the country, and Porzingis is now sent back to Latvia. I cannot believe that happened. The Knicks were screwed. Oh. Okay, record again, Jay. Okay, Jay, I cannot believe what happened to Porzingis. I cannot believe he was kidnapped by aliens, and the aliens will not return him until Dolan steps down. And Dolan's not going to step down, so aliens versus Dolan, this is awful. Knicks are screwed.
I can't believe Prokhorov annexed Latvia and forced Porzingis to move back home.
Yeah, I can't believe that happened. I cannot believe James Dolan let Isaiah Thomas take control of this team and trade Porzingis for
Greg Oden.
My God. Traded, and we had the rights to Bargs back.
And we traded 3 draft picks.
And 3 draft picks for Bargs and Oden. But Oden was a number 1 draft pick. We got 2 number 1 draft picks for 1 number 4 draft pick.
Isaiah releases a statement. Look what I did. I traded a number 4 for a number 1.
I cannot believe what happened to Porzingis. I cannot believe he now parties with JR and they get drunk before every game.
Oh, did you hear about JR's newest stunt?
Yeah, I heard he doesn't just choke on the court anymore.
Apparently he's choking high school kids in New York City now.
The story of the alleged incident is that JR, some kid in maybe it was the East Village or West Village, called JR out for sucking, and JR choked the guy.
He said he didn't, but we all know he did.
Yeah, we're gonna say. Here's the thing: we're gonna say it allegedly probably happened.
Yeah.
And JR, and I love how it happened, and every joke is about JR choking on the court. For this is the first time he's choking off the court.
Yes.
So I also, hey, we had a meetup.
Yes, we had our first ever Knicks podcast meetup. And as you can see, we're here. There's no stab wounds.
We're not going to call it annual because we're going to have it more than once this year.
Yes.
Because it was super fun. The guys that came out were super chill, great Knicks fans, and we had an awesome time drinking with them. And we will be doing another one later in the year, and hopefully more people will come out, and we'll have a great time with those guys.
And apologies to the one guy who showed up and couldn't find us, and he emailed us.
And if you were, couple people commented they would have been there if they had a fake ID. We're not promoting underage drinking, but come on, it's New York City. Get your hands on a fake ID. And we weren't very. I think we kind of screwed up also by not letting everyone know where in the bar we would be. We'll do a better job of telling everyone where we'll be next time.
Well, we updated it in the Facebook group, but I think we got to make it clear that that's the place to go for updates. Because I wasn't checking the email, and some guy emailed us.
I'm sure everyone was on Pinterest, just like waiting for the updates.
So yeah, it was a success. Everyone was really cool, and definitely want to do it again.
The only negative was that we watched the Knicks lose to the Cavs, and that was kind of frustrating. But since then,
they almost didn't lose.
They almost did lose. This Knicks team, it seems like they have some trouble at closing out games. Well, they had some trouble closing out games in the last couple games, though they've figured that out, I guess.
Yeah,
they've gotten a lot better. So last year the Knicks won. I was explaining to my wife earlier that the Knicks won 17 out of 82 games last year, and the first month of the season hasn't even ended yet, and the Knicks have won about half those number of games.
Yeah, they are 2 months ahead of last year's pace.
Yes. I explained that to her and another friend of hers. The friend of hers actually laughed out loud when she heard that the Knicks had won 17 of 82 games last year. She didn't even understand how that was possible.
Yeah, some guy was trying to make small talk with me at work, and he's like, I heard the Knicks, won 6 games. And I'm like, yeah, last year they were 6-36. And he started cracking up thinking I was joking. I'm like, no, really, they were 6-36.
Yeah, 8 games. We've won 8. We're 8-6. I have to say we probably won our 8th game mid to late January last year. I don't even know.
I think we won 3 in a row, like in mid-January. I think we got our 6th, 7th, and 8th wins. And
being that it's not December yet, it's pretty freaking nice to have 8 wins.
Yeah. And this is we didn't win 4 in a row all of last year.
I'm not going to overreact and say the Knicks are necessarily going to the playoffs. I'm not going to say we're the team of destiny, but I think some things are pretty clear. We're a lot better than last year, and Porzingis looks awesome.
The Celtics just lost to the Nets, so the Knicks are a half a game out of first place in the division.
The nice thing also is the November part of the schedule is pretty rough with lots of playoff teams, and we look pretty good at this point with November almost being over. The December schedule looks pretty freaking easy in comparison.
Yes. So
we could have a very nice December. Before we go to the games, I have a couple things I wanted to point out to you, a couple stats. So entering, I don't know if it's still true, but probably is true. But entering the Saturday night game when the Knicks played Oklahoma, do you know the Knicks actually led the league in 3-point defense?
What?
Yes.
Wow.
3-point field goal defense. They led the NBA.
What is that, like a 25 spot bump from last season?
I think the Knicks were like dead last in the NBA last. Actually, since we started doing the podcast, the Knicks have probably been the bottom 5 every year for 3-point defense. Maybe the 54-win season was different. But in general, the Knicks are always horrendous in 3-point defense.
Yeah.
And it was like that's insane. So anyway, also I wanted to point out to you another very interesting fact. I said I told Jay ahead of time, this is going to blow his mind. And now you may guess it since I told you it's going to blow your mind, but it still will blow your mind. The NBA stats page, they now have keep these defensive metric stats. Basically, they can show the difference in field goal percentage that a player should make and what they do make when they're being covered by another player. So
what
kind
do you
of
mean
how
what
effective they are.
Make?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Have you seen this? You have not seen this yet? Mm-hmm. They can record where a guy is on the court and the guy who's supposed to be covering. It's called league player tracking defense, and they'll say they'll say Kylo Quinn apparently. So when the league average guy covers the guy versus when Kyle Quinn covers the guy, the player who's covering shoots an extra 7.7% field goal percentage when Kyle Quinn's covering him. So in other words, they shoot 7.7% above their average when they're being covered by Kyle Quinn, which means Kyle Quinn is doing a really shitty job covering guys.
Huh, that's interesting.
And so they do this for every player in the NBA, and including obviously all the Knicks when I say every player in the NBA. And you can see from this, and this was interesting last year, they pointed out, it was one of the things that if you weren't watching the Knicks that closely last year, if you're watching the Knicks were losing, you thought everyone was terrible. If you looked at Langston Galloway, they had there was an article about how Langston Galloway, when you use these stats, you saw that he's actually a really good defender because most of the guys he was guarding were shooting a lower percentage they normally shot when Galloway guarded them.
Okay.
And Galloway's still having a pretty good year. He's there generally right now. It's negative 2.1, so players shoot 2.1% lower when Galloway's.
I'm waiting for you to tell me how far ahead Porzingis is in this stat.
Hang on. And so it goes. It'll give you So they'll give you, which is interesting also, they'll give you the categories they have. They have overall, they have how well he defends from 3-pointers, 2-pointers, less than 6 feet, less than 10 feet, greater than 15 feet.
Okay.
So if you look at Galloway, a guy shooting a 3, it's negative 1.7%. Shooting 2-pointers, negative 4%. Less than 6 feet, a guy shoots 7.9% better. And less than 10 feet, 5.9%. Basically what it comes down to, if a guy's 10 feet or beyond the basket, Galloway's a good defender. But when they get close, Galloway. When they get close to the rim, Galloway's not the best defender.
Right.
Which is not unusual for a guard. For most guards, they're going to be better further away from the basket. And when you get closer, they usually need help defense.
Yeah, I mean, if an opposing guard is within 10 feet of the basket, that means they probably already got past Galloway. And
so Robin Lopez, who people are killing, he's a negative 2.1% for the year. And if you look at Robin Lopez's, it's if a guy's shooting less than 6 feet from the basket, Lopez is a negative 10.7%, which means when a guy is close to the basket, basically they shoot 10% less than they normally do with Lopez covering them in the middle, which is pretty good. I mean, you want your center to play good defense around the rim, right? So he is a rim protector.
We have a question. Do players shoot 100% with Melo on them?
This is you gotta get there in a second.
Oh, okay.
So Lopez, the opposite, from 3-pointers, players shoot 16.7% better when they shoot. There aren't many threes taken against Lopez. When they do, guys are shooting. It's like he's not even covering them.
Right.
With centers, don't cover guys shooting threes anyway.
Yeah.
So I gave you some examples. Who do you think is the best defender on the Knicks? And this is based on, this is a pretty legit, like, the stat heavy metric. Like, who's the best defender on the Knicks?
Porzingis.
So I'll give you a hint.
Lance Thomas.
It's not even close. This guy is far and away the best defender of the Knicks this season. Based on these stats, which are pretty legit, this guy is kicking ass on defense this year.
And it's not Lance Thomas?
Lance Thomas is actually second on the team. Lance Thomas is having a very good year. His defense is negative 6.6 overall.
That's very good.
Very good. The leader, to be fair, the actual leader is Cleanthony Early, who only played 2 games and barely been on the court.
Yeah, he's played about 8 minutes, so let's not count that one.
He is a negative 41.3. Doesn't make much sense.
It's basically one guy took 1 shot and missed.
But the team leader, you heard Lance Thomas is negative 6.6. The team leader overall is negative 13.2%, which is far and away the best guy in the Knicks. The number 2 was negative 6. He's negative 13. I'll give you his numbers. From 3-point land, negative 14.5%. He's shutting down guys trying to shoot threes against him. From 2, negative 8.9%. Less than 6 feet, negative 13.9%. Greater than 15 feet, negative 11.4%. This guy is playing ridiculous defense.
Are you telling me this is Melo?
This is Melo. Is this insane?
What?
This is actually Carmelo Anthony, who's playing stellar defense this year, according to his statistics.
Well, that would explain why the Knicks are actually winning games.
Yeah. Melo is actually, this is not like, he's played 14 games. This is not an accident. Like, the stats aren't just like small sample size. Guys just happen to miss a couple shots when he's playing them. Melo's playing serious minutes for 14 games already this year. He's been playing really good. It's like whatever you want, whatever you think, whatever your bias towards him not playing defense, based on reality, basically, he's been playing really good defense this year.
Where does Calderon stand?
Isn't that freaking amazing?
That is crazy.
That is crazy. I heard about this somewhere in like comment section somewhere. I had to look it up, and I was like, I'm blown away. So Kyle Quinn is the worst defender on the team right now, and it's Calderon is actually not that bad. He's a negative 3.5%.
Wow.
Yeah, which is actually also surprising. This is up to date, by the way. This is through the Oklahoma City game. So he's where he's positive is greater than 15 feet. He's 12.9%. He's negative 12.9%. So if you're shooting a three or shooting a long jumper, Calderon is staying with you, which is, if you're watching lately, he actually is doing this. If you're less than 10 feet, they're shooting 13.8%, which means if you're also watching Calderon, you know, if you try to get by him, you do get by him, and then he does nothing to stop you.
Right.
So basically, if you try to challenge him from long, Calderon's staying in your face and playing good defense. If you try to get around him, let's hope Lopez picks up the guy.
All right, we got a lot to cover, so real quick, where does Porzingis stand on this?
Okay. And by the way, Aflalo is like second worst in the team right now, which is surprising because I thought he's played some good defense.
Yeah, he was supposed to be our defense guy.
The guys that are playing poorly right now are Quinn, Aflalo, Sasha, Mucha, whatever.
Well, that's not a surprise.
Stupid Hair McGee, and Adamson is playing about even. He's like a 0.1%. Porzingis is a negative 0.112. So he's playing kind of okay, like a little better than he's hurting playing a little better defense, but not like anything that impressive.
Right.
But he's also getting 7 blocks a game, so
I'll take that.
I think he's also played like. He's had 2 amazing games. I just thought those were stats that were really worth leading with.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to talk about the games real quick?
Sure.
Okay, so we started off with the Pelican game, right?
Yes, 4 games, 4 wins since last episode.
Unfreaking believable. So this the Pelican game reminded everyone having one superstar player will not win you jack shit. See the New Orleans Pelicans. I
told you at the beginning of the season about this. I said that the supporting cast for Davis absolutely sucks, and it's going to kick them in the ass.
There's only one guy in the NBA that can have a shit supporting cast and still win a lot of games right now, and that's LeBron. Everyone else, you have a shit supporting cast, your team just sucks also.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I really thought they'd be better. I thought they had some decent players.
They don't.
No, they don't. They don't. I think the biggest highlight to me about this game, or the most interesting thing about the game to me, besides the fact the Knicks won, was even though he shot really poorly against him, Porzingis was like, I'm just coming after Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm.
He just he didn't back off. He he challenged him on defense. He challenged him. He tried to score as much as possible on him. He didn't play very well against him, but he challenged the
fact that he's not afraid is awesome.
He showed absolutely no fear. It was like, I was like, does he really want to go after Anthony? Yep, he wants to go after Anthony Davis. And there were a bunch of shots he could have made against him also. It was really impressive.
This was also the game where Robin Lopez scored 0 points. One of the games that he scored 0 points.
This was also the game that Kevin Seraphin reminded us why we paid money for him.
Yeah, he wasn't getting a lot of minutes, and I read that he talked to Derek Fisher. He said, I want to get more minutes. What do I have to do? And he said, play defense. And so he stepped it up on defense, and now he's getting minutes.
Yeah, that's the only reason Melo gets minutes. Yeah, he played freaking phenomenal. And he has a nice hook shot, and we got another guy that could score. The game got it looked like the Knicks were going to have not an easy victory, but it looked like the Knicks were up by a decent amount in the fourth, and then they kind of almost blew the game.
We were saying that O'Quinn and Seraphin are pretty redundant, and it looks like now that Seraphin's getting minutes, O'Quinn is not.
Which is
it's
fine.
We don't need the same guy on the court.
I think it'll go back and forth between these two. Well, some points Seraphin won't look as good, and O'Quinn will get back out there. I'm fine letting this just play out.
I mean, O'Quinn got 2 DNPs in the last 3 games.
Yeah, it is surprising. I have to say, what do you think of Derek Fisher so far lately? Has he stepped up his coaching?
A little bit. I mean, I still don't like the 11-man rotation. I do like the 11-man rotation when Sasha isn't one of those 11 guys.
Yes, I don't like seeing Sasha out there. One thing I do like is that he's been, by playing all these guys, the minutes haven't been so bad for guys. That being said, Melo played 39 minutes that night.
But Melo's been usually playing. I mean, Melo hasn't played 40, I don't think, all season.
That's true. I I don't want to see Porzingis played like 33 or 34 in Oklahoma City game. I want to see Porzingis kind of come in at 30 and no more.
Yeah, I mean, the next 3 games were 31, 26, and 36.
Which is fine for Porzingis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to see he had 23. I want him to see him effective and getting playing time. Only concerns are these are going to be the most games he's going to have played in his life.
Yeah.
It's going to wear him down a little bit. And it hasn't shown any effect yet, and it's still early, but I'm still really worried about something happening to him. And also just want to keep him fresh.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it looks like at least he's doing good minutes management. Rotations.
He's getting more out of players than we expected. I think last show we were destroying Calderon, saying how, and everyone was at this point saying, it was the last show or the show before where we were saying he's terrible, he's washed up, he's garbage. I think since that show, Calderon has not missed a shot.
Since that show, I've picked up him on my fantasy team.
He's shooting an absurd percentage from the field lately.
I think he's leading the league in 3-point percentage.
Is he already? Is he really?
I think so.
I know basically since like since he was basically hit rock bottom, he's been on fire. And he had some kind of stretch where it was like 45 for 60 from the field or something absurd. He's basically just shooting smart shots, which is kind of what you want. He's getting some assists, he's contributing, and his defense has looked a little better lately. He's shooting 42% from 3-pointers. He can't be leading the league.
Oh, no. Galloway is leading the league.
Okay.
Which was the guy we said needed to develop his shot, and now he's leading the league in 3-point percentage.
That helps.
He's shooting 55%.
He's shooting what?
55%.
Holy Nikes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's with 47 attempts. So it's not like that's a pretty big sample size.
That is good. That is a good number. I think if you look at just Calderon's game log, just real quick, stats guy, where the hell are you? He basically, in his last like 10 games, he shot under 50% like twice.
Mm-hmm.
So he's playing. So that's one of those ones where Fisher said, let's just stick with him, and it's worked out.
Yeah.
And I see Sasha, his experiment with putting Sasha back in the games has not lasted, but I appreciate that. And Stupid Hair McGee hasn't looked that great when he's been on the court. I don't know.
No, he's not.
So I'm off the Stupid Hair McGee bandwagon for now. I have to say also Lance Thomas. I know you hate him, but he doesn't look bad out there actually.
He looks good like every other game. Like he'll have like a 0-point game, and then the very next night he's going nuts and he looks awesome. So I don't.
Also based on that defensive tracking thing and how accurate you believe it is, Lance Thomas is the second best defender on the team.
Well, that's why he's getting minutes, because he's supposed to be a really good defender.
And that's what we need. We need guys playing defense. We need to value defense, which is pretty awesome. So anyhow,
my only complaint is that Grant looks terrible now. I don't know what happened. He looked great for like the 6 or 7 games to open the season, and now he just looks like garbage.
I think it goes to him just being a rookie, and point guard as a rookie is kind of a hard position, and I don't know. I keep playing him and see what happens, is my opinion here.
He's missed every 3-point attempt.
He hit one the other night, and it was shocking only because he hadn't hit one in a while.
He hit one against the Thunder, and that was his first one in like 6 games.
The Knicks also, by the way, have been crazy good since Aflalo came back. I don't know if that's a coincidence or not.
I don't think it is. I mean, you take an NBA player like Aflalo replacing a not NBA player like Vujacic.
Yeah, I mean, it basically makes everything stronger by not having Sasha play.
When you have a starting lineup of 5 actual NBA players, your team is better.
Also, you have to give Derek Fisher a lot of credit, speaking of Porzingis, for saying, hey, we're going to start the season with this rookie in the starting lineup when you guys didn't even think he'd contribute this season.
Yeah.
And Porzingis has, I'd say he's fared well. Go to the next game, the Hornets game, right? Also a game the Knicks almost blew, because that's what they do every night now.
Yeah.
They don't have easy victories. They have we're gonna have an easy victory. We're gonna have an easy victory. Oh, we're gonna make you like choke on your balls during the game. Hope pray until we actually pull it off. This is the game that Porzingis had 29 points and 11 rebounds.
That made him the rookie with the highest point total in a single game this season.
And the best part of this, not even his best game of the week.
Yep.
which is insane. He looked really, really good. I love Porzingis. Anything notable from this game besides the Knicks won? Seraphim had some big minutes there again, played pretty well. Melo shot 6 for 18, and it didn't kill us.
This was the game where Porzingis schooled Kaminsky.
Some people were saying the Knicks should take Kaminsky, and those people are called morons.
Mm-hmm.
That Kaminsky was supposed to be the guy, the most NBA ready prospect, or one of the more NBA ready guys. He doesn't look ready for shit. Jeremy, this was nice also because Jeremy Lin and Lamb actually schooled the Knicks last time, and they both played pretty well, but the Knicks held them off.
Yeah.
I still would like to have Lin on our bench. That would have been nice. But
I told Stephen A. Smith on Twitter that the bandwagon is full and to cover another team because I was looking back at his old tweets, and when we drafted Porzingis, he wrote, "I'm done. I'm just done. I'm turning the draft off right now. I know Porzingis can play, but we don't see the next coming of Andrea Bargnani."
Yeah, actually, the Knicks drafted like a once-in-a-generation type player. Him and Towns are like one-in-a-generation type players, and this is pretty awesome.
Yeah. He also wrote, which I'm going to laugh at him for maybe next. Maybe I'll do my weekly taunting of Stephen A. He wrote, if the Rockets get Ty Lawson, they're a lock for the finals.
That's kind of not worked out. Ty Lawson doesn't look that great right now.
I don't even think I think they're starting 38-year-old Jason Terry over him right now.
They are. Lawson looks terrible. Which I didn't even realize until the Knicks played Houston how bad Lawson was looking. What else was notable from the game? Oh, actually, here's something. So Jay emailed me. We were emailing during the week, and he made a comment about this game. I guess Knicks fans were chanting MVP at Porzingis, and I think just kind of not jokingly, but like everyone's just so impressed with him. And Jay said, "You think the guys that are chanting MVP are the same guys trying to overcompensate for booing him on draft night?" Is that basically what you said?
Yeah, I think you're reading the text. That's probably exactly what I said.
Oh, I'm actually not reading them.
I thought you were like reading my email and then trying to catch.
No,
me.
I'm not trying to put you on the witness stand or anything. No, I was just I actually was trying to from memory.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so I think I just thought it would be worth addressing in the show. I feel like Knicks fans have suffered so much in the last decade that I don't think you can really kill any fan that was like booing the Porzingis pick or like wasn't. I know you killed also Stephen A. just now for that, and Stephen A. overreaction, whatever. It was a big kind of gigantic, like, I'm going for the home run goal, call it home run here, or like Hail Mary, kind of, I don't know Hail Mary, but you're going for really the home run when you drafted him. And Phil Jackson, home run, looks like Porzingis is going to be great. But you can't really kill a Knicks fan for they're so jaded that they're kind of so worried about that pick. You really, like, a fan base has been this beaten down, and a guy goes for a giant gamble on draft night. Can you get upset at a Knicks fan for, like, booing that?
I mean, I feel like no matter who we draft, Knicks fans boo, and it gets annoying.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know who we drafted that people had a reason to cheer for.
I mean, they booed Galloway, and everyone loved Galloway like half a season in.
They booed Galloway?
Gallinari.
Sorry, Gallinari. Yeah, that's true. I think also we have that whole French guy, which everyone kind of...
Yeah, but that was like 20 years ago now. Come on.
That's true. We don't draft that often, so...
Yeah.
But I have to say, no matter what you say about guys booing and whatever, people have pretty much jumped on the Porzingis bandwagon pretty fast.
Yeah, they were actually chanting MVP.
And I think you're right now 14 games in the year. In 14 games into Porzingis' career, if you're on the side of like, this guy's awesome, I'm excited about him, you're not too late to the bandwagon. Just jump on in.
Except Stephen A. Go away.
Except Stephen A. Everyone on the entire planet can come on the bandwagon, except Stephen A. and members of ISIS.
Our listener, Steven, asked why Knicks fans complain so much. And so I sent him a list of every transaction the Knicks have made since the Ewing trade. And he's like, oh, yeah, I get it now.
Yeah.
we lost every trade except the David Lee trade.
What do you mean we didn't lose the David Lee trade?
We traded like garbage to get David Lee. The David Lee draft pick.
Oh, the draft pick.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I was like saying the Knicks drafted David Lee, and I know when we traded David Lee, we lost that trade.
Yeah, no. We traded something like Othello Harrington and like somebody else. It was a good trade.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Okay, anything else from this game? Or the next game?
Next game.
Okay. This is the this is Houston, right? Okay.
Oh, we did. Did we even talk about Thunder?
Which game was for? OKC was Friday night.
Yeah.
Okay. OKC was Friday night. I forgot. I was trying to remember the order. Okay, so this game, I think I joked on Twitter that the Knicks, their goal tonight was to hold Westbrook under 40, and they did that.
They did that. I was surprised that they didn't try and troll us and play Steve Novak 20 minutes.
Well, they probably would have done that if they weren't losing. Westbrook, here's the thing with Westbrook. He got 34 points, but also did it on 11 of 29 shooting, which pretty much, if you want to score 34 points on us, feel free to do it on 11 and 29 shooting every night. That's terrible shooting.
It is.
That's like a mellow night that like everyone would be saying, oh, well, he still got 34 points. And you're like, no, he sucked. That's a bad night of shooting.
If he was going to have a bad night, I'm glad it was against the Knicks because he's been absolutely ridiculous for my fantasy team. But I'm glad he had a bad night against the Knicks.
So a big thing the Knicks did, and just to bring in the Houston game real quick, Westbrook and James Harden. What's the thing they do that kills teams more than anything else?
Draw fouls?
Yeah, they get to the line like no others. They're probably two of the best players in the league of getting to the line. Westbrook got to the line 6 times, and Harden got to the line, I think, 5. Where is it? He
Westbrook
shot
took 12 free throws, and Harden only took 5.
Yeah, the Knicks did a fantastic job of not fouling these guys. That was probably one of the biggest differences in the game.
They must have been hiding Calderon because he had 0 fouls against OKC.
By the way, you know who doesn't foul guys anymore?
Hmm?
Porzingis.
Yeah. He got over that real quick.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, anything else from I was actually shocked the Knicks beat OKC. Even without, I guess they're missing, are they missing anyone? Is someone good on that team?
They were missing Cameron Payne.
Oh, that's who I'm thinking of. Cameron Payne is probably the guy.
Payne is the key word.
Yes. So Durant, this also, since anytime the Knicks will play OKC, just because he's a player, is going to be a free agent, the Knicks dream about, it's like the Knicks dream about winning the lottery always, which they might have actually won with Porzingis. But everyone starts talking about, well, the Knicks get Durant. Do you think it makes any sense to get Durant? Like next year, he's going to be a free agent this summer, right?
Yes.
So would you give a max contract to Durant?
Only if he comes back like next week and he's healthy all season.
I would not. Because first off, you don't know about his health. He's had some major injuries.
Yeah, but if he plays the last 60 games of the season at an MVP level, that's good enough for me.
I get that Durant is an amazing player. Does he fit in that well with Porzingis and Melo?
Does it matter?
I think it does matter.
I don't.
I'm not saying like, I don't know. It'd be hard to say. First of all, he's not coming to New York. He has no interest in playing in New York. Just stop talking about it. But since we're going to talk about it, how well, like, if to really win the title, we're going to need Porzingis to really be the home run he looks like. And if he's playing really well, I don't know how well it really fits in having Durant, Porzingis, and Melo on the same court. I feel like we'd be better off spending that max money on Russell Westbrook or another, like a point guard, getting better guards, basically.
I mean, I agree we need better guards, but if you have a chance to get the second best player in the league, you do that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Anthony Davis would be a better fit if you're going to say second best player in the league, but or arguably, whatever. I don't
think Davis is second best. Plus, Davis has literally been injured every single season.
That's true too. You know what? I worry, and it's not even going to happen. So I feel like the foot injuries really scare me the most. But I really just wonder how well it would work out having the three of those guys in the same court.
Somebody crunched some numbers and wrote that the Warriors can afford Kevin Durant next season.
I believe the numbers were crunched by Satan. What the?
I think like they would have to let Harrison Barnes walk, and then they could afford, Durant.
Yeah, and let's the discussion. Well, Harrison's like, well, I've been on this team. Hello.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they would even like it's like Durant's like, I want to be on the team. Here, you can have Harrison Barnes' wife. Not just his locker. You can have whatever. That would be so unfair.
It would. And for some reason, even though the cap's going up by like 20-something million, the Knicks still wouldn't have enough cap room for him.
Yeah, it just Golden State has an absurd roster. Did they just tie the NBA record for most wins to start a season?
No.
Oh, they not?
No, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure Houston went like 17-0 or something like that.
What's their record right now?
14-0.
Oh, I thought
that was the crazy thing is that was the hard part of their schedule.
I thought that someone said that they were like 1 win away.
I'm going to look it up now. I'm pretty sure Houston.
Stat guy, where are you?
I'm pretty sure Houston went 17-0.
Yeah, you could be right. It's still an absurd start.
Yeah.
If they got, I mean, that would be absurd. I just don't think.
Oh, maybe. I was thinking I was right with the Rockets, but it was 15-0.
Oh, so they are 1 win away. Holy crap. I thought like coming in like, well, they won the title and like this year will be a little bit of a letdown year. I guess not.
They're up by 4 against the Nuggets right now.
Steph Curry's kind of good. I think he might be. He might have a future in the NBA.
Maybe the guy, if he keeps at it, I think he'll get there.
They have like their best lineup is having Green at center.
23-1 was the best record with 1 loss, and that was the Knicks.
Wait, what?
23-1, the best record with only 1 loss. That was the Knicks.
Oh, and that was probably before I was born.
Yeah, 1970.
Yeah, back when the Knicks were like really good.
Yeah,
not just like 1990s good, but like win championships good.
Yeah.
I kind of think Porzingis is the key to winning a title.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it'd be hard to argue that. Anything else from the OKC game?
No.
And forgetting the fact whether he's a good fit or not, is there from 0 to 10, sort of 1 to 10, whatever? What's the chances you think of Durant coming here? 10 being he's on the team. That's a lock.
Wait, what was the question again?
Oh, we'll just forget my ratings. Just what percent chance do you think the Knicks have of actually getting Durant?
Oh, 1.
Yeah, I think that's a little high. There's just no chance he's coming here. Okay, Knicks Houston. This game, the Knicks were down early. I was pretty sure the Knicks were going to lose, and the Knicks won anyway. And it actually ended up going. And they also won close again because they win every one of these games close.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing good teams. I know people are going to say they didn't have Durant, and they didn't have Howard, but those guys are missing a lot of games now anyway. It's not like they were just out for the Knicks. And I think Howard is borderline washed up.
Who's washed up?
Howard.
Oh, I thought you said Harden.
No, Howard. His numbers have gone down for 5 straight seasons.
Yeah, I don't think Howard would have made the biggest of differences in that game. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. There was one play where Harden like just threw himself into. I don't think it might have been Porzingis. I forgot who he threw himself into. They called the foul, and the guys covering the game, Clyde and who's the other guy? I'm losing my mind.
Clyde, I don't know. I don't even remember.
Anyway, they're like, oh, that was a good. That was a bad foul. And then they watch the replay and they're like, oh, it doesn't look like Harden actually was touched. We don't really see the foul on that, but they should have fouled him. And I've noticed this in general. It just kind of reminded me of something that drives me insane. What drives me insane is when a guy does a BS foul. They watch the replay. The announcers, it doesn't have to be a Knicks announcer, it's any announcers. They watch the replay, and clearly there was no foul. And then they'll go on about how, Porzingis should have fouled him there. And you're like, yeah, you just watched the replay. He did foul him there. Just complain about the referees. Don't pretend like whatever the referee said was actually accurate.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I feel like everyone's afraid of getting fined or something.
Just if you saw the replay and the foul wasn't there, just say it wasn't a foul. It wasn't a bad play. The ref screwed up.
Jeff Van Gundy's the only one who does that.
I hate when they don't do it. The guy, whatever, it's human error. Guys, the refs mess stuff up.
Yeah.
Just don't pretend like it's the player's fault.
Exactly.
That was a dumb foul. Well, it wasn't a dumb foul because you didn't actually foul him there. Whatever. What else from the Houston game?
That's about it. I mean, it was.
Oh wait, did anyone get 7 blocks and 24 points and 14 rebounds?
I think one guy did. Yeah.
Is he the second coming?
He is. We have a question in the chat room. What will happen first? Knicks winning a ring or Porzingis getting MVP?
I think that would happen the same season, but
Yeah.
I think that has to be the same season. I can't say one for the other. What do you think, Jay?
I would have to agree, yeah.
The 7 blocks were insane. That was the biggest thing that I thought, the most insane thing of all the stats.
Yeah, there were nice blocks too. They weren't like Dwight Howard smack it into the 5th row and the other team gets the ball back blocks either.
They were all significant blocks. It was also like, you're like, well, guys now are going to have to realize Porzingis is going to have to alter shots, which you have 2 guys now on that floor. Him and Lopez are altering shots. It helps the defense out majorly.
Yeah.
I saw a stat. It was the last guy to have 20 points, 14 rebounds, and 7 blocks. They keep doing these stats. The last rookie to do this, Shaq.
Nice.
It's pretty good company.
We had a 10-year losing streak against the Rockets.
10-year losing. This was we had lost 10 straight games or 11 straight games at Houston.
Jesus.
How goddamn bad that thing's been. I don't know how that's possible to have lost so many games in Houston. But Porzingis won that for us. Here's the question for you, Jay. Of all the players available in the offseason, forgetting Towns, forgetting draft pick, but all the free agents, was there any free agent you would have rather gotten than Porzingis? Than drafting Porzingis?
LeBron?
Okay, not counting LeBron as a free agent. Okay, that fine. Okay, I didn't think of LeBron when I asked the question. Would you I feel like the best free agent not named LeBron was probably Marc Gasol. Would you rather gotten Marc Gasol or drafted?
Oh, definitely Porzingis.
I don't think it's even close. I mean, not that because Porzingis is better than Gasol, but like Porzingis,
he's 10 years younger and he makes a hell of a lot less money.
Makes no money, 10 years younger, has a gigantic career ahead of him.
Yeah.
So, and would you say Phil Jackson, has he basically solidified himself as being like he's done a good job for the Knicks?
I think so.
This one move basically, I feel like makes it like no matter what happens from here, you'll always say at least he drafted Porzingis.
True. I mean, he's still made some questionable calls, but he did make the right one in the draft.
I feel like that was the one he needed to get right the most.
Would you want Bradley Beal?
For he's a free agent this offseason, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, he'd be a pretty solid shooting guard. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he would be an upgrade over Aflalo. And if we could keep Aflalo and have him come off the bench, then we could get rid of some of our garbage shooting guards.
Yeah, I think that would be it'd be a heck of a signing.
I mean, if you had Beal, Aflalo, and Galloway, it's a pretty sweet rotation.
Would you rather have drafted Porzingis or Joel Embiid? I don't know why I decided. So there was an article about how Embiid, the Sixers were having Embiid talk to Ilgauskas because Ilgauskas came back from a similar injury to Embiid. How sad must it be around Philadelphia management?
Also, that same article said Embiid is playing really well in his mind.
Jay had told me about this, and I thought Jay was saying in his mind as a joke, but the article actually quotes him have actually said the words in his mind. I can't believe. Anyway, so I assume if you work for the 76ers and you utter the word Greg Oden anywhere within a mile of Joel Embiid, you lose your job.
Yeah.
Okafor's playing pretty well for them. He's not Porzingis, but he's playing pretty well.
Playing all right. I mean, his shooting percentage kind of sucks, and his defense is bad. Other than that, he's been awesome.
We're done with the Houston game. What else do we want to mention before we go to questions, Jay?
We have so many questions. I think.
Oh, actually, I had another question for you. Actually, I think I hit all the major questions for you.
We should say, leave
sorry, go.
I was going to say leave a review on iTunes and hit the subscribe button because apparently we're 3rd in iTunes now, which is just unacceptable.
There's a new Knicks podcast in the street, and we have to compete with them, I guess.
Yeah, we have competition now.
Yeah. If you buy a T-shirt from a New York Knicks podcast T-shirt from Jay, he will be surprised.
Yes.
Please buy a T-shirt.
The New York Knicks podcast.com.
Yes. Oh, here's my other question before we go to the Facebook questions. So I know you've been calling for Porzingis to be drafted since I don't know how from like Jay made an amazing call a long time ago saying the Knicks draft Porzingis. It's amazing it worked out this way. Let's say the Knicks did not draft Porzingis, Jay, and they drafted anyone else besides Towns that was available. Anyone else that was available, Moutier or
Winslow,
or maybe they'd gotten Russell. How would you be losing your mind right now?
Yeah, I was saying right before the draft, if we don't draft Porzingis and he starts going off, I'm going to flip out.
I feel like, I don't know if all the fan base would say we should have drafted Porzingis, so I'm so mad about how well he's playing. But I know you would have taken it pretty hard.
I would have. Especially after that 29-point game, I would have been like, are you goddamn kidding me?
Oh, my God. I think you might have switched. Would you have switched allegiances? We could no longer be a Knicks fan, just be whatever team that drafted him, be a fan of?
I think I would have been a free agent, yeah.
Let's go to questions. Oh, I didn't even post on Twitter, did I?
I don't know. We got questions.
We got questions on Twitter?
A few.
Okay, I don't think I even asked for them. Okay, thanks for asking questions anyway.
Toby writes, is it bad that I don't hate when Thomas is on the floor?
I'd say no. Thomas has looked. I am been impressed by Thomas lately. Jay, you want to apologize to Thomas?
No. I mean, he's still like every other game good. So until he could string together.
Jay, this is Lance Thomas. Hey. Jay, if you see me out there, I am working my butt off on defense. You guys keep talking about defense in your show, and I'm playing defense, Jay. I want an apology.
Yeah, well, we have a bunch of players that can play defense.
You didn't know I am the second best defensive defender besides Melo on the team. Where's my apology, Jay?
String together a couple of decent games, and you'll get an apology.
Decent games. I play defense. Every defense is half the game, Jay. 50% of the game is defense. I play defense every night, Jay. So shut your ass up. Give me my apology now, so you can stop shutting yourself up and give me my apology.
If you were taking a test, 50% would be failing.
Yeah, Jay. I play offense a lot also. I am good. You see me work my butt off all last season when we won 17 games. I hustle harder than anyone else on the court. So, Jay, where's my apology?
Not getting one when you're putting up 0-point games.
Okay, if I cannot have an apology, can I have your girlfriend?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Okay.
That's Thomas, everybody.
That's Thomas.
Would you want Embiid for Calderon? No.
It's basically, would you dump Calderon for a guy that will never play an NBA game?
Right, and make our pathetically thin backcourt even thinner.
Yeah, Calderon's looked. What would you trade? What would you just dump his salary for another team? Let's say the Spurs were like, we'll take the salary. We'll give the guys that are going to come off this. I guess basically, would you salary dump him right now, or do we need him the rest of the season?
I mean, we need him. I mean, we would have to get another point guard. Like if the Spurs said, like, we'll give you Patty Mills, maybe you do it. But like you can't just dump our point guard and have Grant, who's in a huge slump, as our only true point guard on the team.
Can you believe like it's come to this now that you will say I can't just dump Calderon? I need to get something for him.
Unless we want to bring up Travis Trice from the D League.
I know you love Travis Trice. He's looked pretty good in D League. But you're basically we're legitimately saying that Calderon has some value right now.
He does.
Yeah. Anyway, Joel Embiid, I don't want anything. I don't want any part of.
No, not at all.
I know he's supposed to be going to be a very good player in his mind.
Hingle McCringle writes, will you discuss how badly I'm beating Mark in fantasy basketball?
Hingle McCringle's beating me. Here's one thing I really the meetup was really fun. One guy at the meetup pointed out to me that instead of just setting your lineup yourself every week, you can press one button and the computer will set your lineup for you each day. I didn't realize that, and this saves me so much time.
I didn't know. I forgot about that option.
Oh, I was so happy when I figured that out. Well, sorry, when I heard that we could do it and figured out how to do it myself after he showed me how to do it.
So are you saying you might actually set your lineup into December?
Maybe. I think I should be able to make it longer because I have really no excuse. Basically, all I have to do is every day press one button.
So what do? Hit start active players?
Yeah, they just start active players. They don't always like. I did it one day and they put Jimmy Butler on my bench, and someone who cared about fantasy might have switched that. I did not. But generally, so once in a while, you might have a guy on the bench you don't want on the bench, but they'll just hit start active players and they'll switch it.
So you're down 1 to 8.
Whatever. I don't know why the default setting is not just to start your active players.
Right.
Wouldn't that just be great if that was your default?
Yeah, why would you not want to do that?
I don't know. That would mean I would just never have to look at it again.
Really? You just want to go in like Fridays because there's a lot of games. You might have some players you could swap in. But other than that, I almost never have an instance where there's like I have to make a decision on who to play or not.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And my team kind of sucks anyway. So, yeah. Anyway, I am getting my butt kicked in fantasy. Oh, well.
Yeah, I'm not doing too great either. I think
Jay tried, though. It's worse because Jay really wanted to have a good fantasy team. I gave up mid-draft. Jay, held out hope his team was good at post-draft.
I've already made 17 moves on my team.
Holy crap. 17 moves and you're still this bad?
Is it crazy that I turned down a trade for LeBron James?
What was the crack pipe you were using?
Well, I mean, he wanted Westbrook, and Westbrook's been putting up insane numbers with Durant.
It was a 1-for-1 trade.
I think it was LeBron and Tony Parker for Westbrook and Klay Thompson.
Yeah, I would do it.
I don't know. Klay Thompson's been slumping, but if he starts getting his game back, he's going to hit some serious threes.
The team is freaking undefeated with Klay Thompson slumping. They're going to share points. Are you insane?
Yeah, but LeBron
is the best player in the NBA.
Yeah, but he's on a minutes limit, and he's starting to sit out some games.
I would have done that trade.
Yeah.
If anyone in the fantasy league wants to offer me LeBron James, I will take it. No matter what the counter offer, whatever is starting, whatever you wanted from me, you can have him for Melo. For LeBron. I'll take LeBron. So,
I think the problem also is that Korver's been slumping, so I couldn't get rid of Klay Thompson and just have Korver because he's not hitting threes either.
Yeah. So you've made 17 moves. Turned down LeBron James. What place are you in?
I am in 12th place.
What place am I in?
You are in
13th place or 14th?
Scrolling down. No, you're in 10th place.
I've barely been trying, and I'm beating you.
But I'm up 5-4 this week, and you're down 1-8. So
you made 17 moves, and you are 2 places lower than me.
I'll move up this week.
You had all this look, I have all this money during the draft. I'm drafting so wisely. Oh, look how stupidly you're drafting. I'm drafting so wisely. How'd that work out for you?
It's early.
Ooh, you're sucking early and sucking late.
All right, let's move on.
Oh, this is the other thing I wanted to mention. From last show, I believe we were accused of being racist for the Beast Report.
Yeah.
And we took a poll from people, and everyone said it's not racist, so we don't think it's racist. And we never thought it was racist, and we never really understood why it was. Anyway.
And a bunch of people who said it wasn't racist were not white guys. So,
yeah,
I gave them.
My black friend said it wasn't racist.
I gave them 2 points for vote as opposed to the white guys. They only counted as 1 point.
The whole point also is if you're an actual avid listener to the show, we didn't even come up with a nickname, and it's all about making fun of Steven from the group. Right.
Yeah. It's basically we were just trolling Steven relentlessly because he posted one comment on our Facebook page because we're immature.
Yeah. Do we want to see how the Beast is doing?
Yeah, sure. He played today, I think.
I don't know what it is yet. Did he? Okay.
Yeah, he played today. Oh no, he actually played really well today. 21, 5, and 4 steals.
Did you play the music, Jay?
Well, it's not as fun if he's actually playing good.
Yeah, just play the damn music.
Get ready for
Tale as old as time.
the Beast Report.
It's my girl, and you Lance Thomas apology.
Well, why is the whole NBA on Lance Thomas's side?
Lance Thomas is a fine. He's a nice guy. He's wonderful to hang out with. You are a jackass, Lance Thomas. You owe an apology.
I like how you don't want
Also,
to.
I play pretty well now.
I like how you don't want an apology for yourself.
No. It wasn't racist, but I want an apology for Lance Thomas because he's a nice guy, and you, sir, are not a nice guy.
Yeah. Apparently, I'm a huge jerk.
Apologize, or I will come and eat your leg.
All right, we're sorry, Lance Thomas.
Okay. Mark Carroll, out of here.
All right. So, DeMar Carroll had a good game.
Yeah, he's playing better lately. I don't know, $60 million better, but whatever. Okay, more questions, Jay?
Emails. That was our Twitter at NY Knicks Podcast.
What about Pinterest?
Still don't know what that is.
Do we have questions on Instagram?
I can check Instagram.
Wasn't there a guy threatening you on Instagram?
I think he's moved over to Vine. He sent about 40 messages.
Are you kidding me? 40 messages on Vine?
Yeah, all from the same guy.
What are the messages? Can you please read those? I mean, this is amazing.
He wrote...
Could you imagine for the show if you got murdered?
Jason, I had a bad day after being miserable at work and a problem with the girlfriend. I decided maybe today is the day I do it. Maybe I march up to Astoria and repent us for our sins, you and me. And then he wrote a couple hours later, fortunately for you, I had an errand to attend to. Just wanted to let you know you should realize just how lucky you were.
I was going to commit murder, but then I realized I was out of toothpaste.
I want you to apologize to me in your Brink episode. Do this and you'll never hear of me again. Out of respect, don't make me earn it from you. I want what is owed to me. Something keeps scratching the other side of my pillow when I sleep. I woke up to hear knocking on glass. At first, it was the window until I heard it come from the mirror again. And then same day, so you won't give me my apology.
Does she just speak in code?
Yeah, same day, so you won't give me my apology. It's like we didn't record an episode, but okay. You think
I wish this was actually me just posting, but go on.
You think I'm a joke? I'm giving you a chance. If I don't get my apology on this show, I will never forgive you, and you will be my obsession and my liberty.
Do you think this is Lance Thomas posting on your page?
And then 2 days ago, I want my apology. If I don't get it, I will hurt you for what you have done. Take this chance, swallow your pride. I don't even know who to apologize to or what I'm apologizing for. I think he's pretending to be Richard, who we do have to apologize to.
Oh yeah. We actually owe Richard a big apology. We will do it on Brink because that was the show he was insulted on.
And if you want to hear what that's about, download Brink because
we are recording Brink on Tuesday. We'll have a new episode very soon. Jay's schedule had a rough schedule with school, but it's getting better now.
Right.
Or I don't know if it's getting better or not. You just got through. You got through your midterms, right?
Yes, I got through my midterms. I did good on them. So,
what about did you do well in them as well?
I did very good. I'm an accountant, not an English major. I am checking Instagram, and we do not have messages on Instagram. Good.
What about
we're NY Knicks Podcast on Vine. We had
What about PornTube?
Is that even a site?
Come on, you know if it's a site or not. I think we have a comment on the Knicks PornTube. It says, Jay, harder. Give it to me, Jay. Give it to me. Okay,
so now we're on to emails. nyknickspodcast@gmail.com. Peter writes, how do you guys feel about Seraphin? He looked really good on Sunday. Does he deserve more minutes? This was after his big game.
Yes.
Yeah, the issue was defense. He's stepping it up a little bit. So, yeah, give him more minutes.
And Kyle Quinn's been looking, based on the stat track thing, as the worst defender on the team. So we can mix and match and see who plays well.
Yes. Lorenzo writes, Felton just top scored for the Mavs versus Houston. Would you rather Felton or Calderon as our starting point guard?
I am still going to go with, I go with Calderon.
Yeah, we went through Felton.
We've been there
know
twice.
Like,
we can move on. Do you think whose numbers are better?
Well, this week Calderon's better. Felton's was better the first 2 weeks.
For the season, he's shooting 40% from the field. Calderon's shooting better than that. He's shooting 22% from 3-point range. And this is him. This is him playing better. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna still stick with Calderon. And Felton plays not like a defense.
Frankie writes, dude, kid you not, I was just going to email you guys about doing Cutting Down the Nets. That was our segment from last year where we ripped on the Nets for 2 minutes. And the Nets, Cutting Down the Nets, and it's on SportsCenter right now. ESPN now has a Cutting Down the Nets segment.
Wait, what?
Yes, it's true. I saw it.
They have a segment called Cutting Down the Nets?
Yes.
Oh, God, fuck. Ugh, ESPN.
So now they resorted
to
to
the idea in an entire 5 year of doing a show, and you steal it from us.
If they start doing the Beast Report for Carol, I'm gonna snap.
Could you imagine? Like, it's a whole controversy. ESPN's so racist.
Skip Bayless starts talking like a little kid, pretending to be Derrick Rose.
Suddenly, ESPN has all these audio issues. They're like, buy an ESPN T-shirt. Review us on iTunes. Wow.
Yeah.
By the way, the Nets are garbage. They're 3-11.
Yeah. At least they beat the Celtics to bump us up ahead of them.
I mean, the thing is also, we were doing the Cutting Down the Nets segment when the Nets were supposed to be good, and they were kind of not playing so well. And we made fun of them after the Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce trade. The Nets are supposed to be garbage this year, and they're pretty much playing up to par.
Yeah, it's like, wow, way to go out on a limb making fun of a team that everyone knew would be bad.
Yeah, everyone said this team was going to be really bad, and ESPN, you want to knock on the Sixers also?
Great.
I mean, the Nets, they lost they got rid of Darren Williams, which I don't know if it was supposed to be a good thing or a bad thing, but their roster's pretty bad at this point. They got Brook Lopez, who plays no defense, and not much else.
I'm going to go down to their studio if they have a fake Mike Woodson on.
Oh, man.
Watch it be our fake Mike Woodson.
You start hearing them covering the game going, oh, and the Knicks haven't really been playing stupid hair lately.
Oh, yeah. If I hear Clyde say stupid Maher McGee, that's it. Peter writes, Rolo is playing like such garbage, it makes me want to cry. In the final 2 minutes of Friday's game, he had about 5 turnovers. SMH Robin Lopez.
Yeah, he looked kind of shitty at the end of the game. You know, he pretty much almost lost the game by himself.
Yeah, he's been looking pretty poop.
Well, to be fair, if you look at the stats I just mentioned, he's been playing pretty solid defense around the rim.
Yeah, but he's been, like, we knocked Tyson Chandler for his offense. He's making Tyson Chandler look like Kevin Durant out there. Like,
I don't know if he's worth $12 million to do what he's doing. And like for $12 million a year, you'd think he'd be able to stay on the court for the fourth quarter. But he's been playing solid defense.
Yeah. He needs to at least pretend to be a threat on offense, though.
He got some points the other night against in the Rockets game, right? Didn't he get a bunch of points?
I think so. But he went like, I don't know, 3 games with a total of like 6 points or something ridiculous.
So there was a play in the Rockets game, actually, that kind of annoyed me with Lopez. Lopez got the ball, went for a shot, and I forget who of the Rockets fouled him. But the guy fouled him, and then he had the continuation. And for the continuation, he kind of went for a layup, missed the layup, and he went to the line for two shots. And I'm like, the guy fouls you and you go for continuation. Why not just dunk?
Right.
You're 7 foot. You can dunk without jumping. Just dunk the goddamn ball.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You still get that in the continuation. No one's going to say I had not heard that you don't get the continuation if you dunk.
Right. I mean, who knows
Just
how many
throw
points
the
Shaq got for
freaking ball
doing
in the. If I was 7 foot, I could dunk. That's all I'd be doing all day.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even have to be in the NBA. I'd be like, hey guys, I just want to show you I could dunk.
Kazim writes, "Hey Marc and Jay, how are you guys feeling about the season so far?" There's more, but you want to just address that? The static.
My erection says I'm feeling well about this.
I am about to call a physician because it's been erect for more than 4 straight hours. We are one game of. Somebody asked, we try and make this a family show without cursing, and then we have poop and boner jokes all the time, which I guess is a pretty good point.
Someone mentioned that?
It was Steven, but yeah.
You would really have to put that into context. You're like, someone mentioned that. Okay, it was Steven. Thank you, Stephen, for that comment. It's not really a family show. I don't know what the hell Jay thinks it is.
It's not explicit.
Oh, family, let's gather around. Let's bring the twins. Come on down here. We're all going to gather around the podcast player and listen to the Knicks report.
We are one game above 500 right now. As of me writing this email after our win over OKC, which will be completely honest with you, we got totally lucky with. Only the Knicks would do some poop like that. No lead is safe with them, but they still got the win. Still, these fourth quarters are an issue, and we just have to play better through the fourth quarter. Do you think this issue will be fixed as the season goes, or is this something maybe a trade could fix or something?
I would say, first of all those games the Knicks would have lost last season.
Mm-hmm.
And like there was like the first Charlotte game where Porzingis hit that 3-pointer with like a tenth of a second after the shot clock. We lost that one. I feel like there's a little bit of luck always involved, but now the Knicks are playing better, so it's going their way.
Yeah, and I don't see the Knicks making a trade this season.
I would say I say they might make a trade, but it's going to be some kind of small move around the deadline. They'll add like some guy, maybe they'll take on a salary or something. I don't know what they might add like a guy on the bench. That's about it.
Right.
But I feel like this will get better. It's a young team. I feel like you think this will get better. They'll get better at closing games out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't see why they wouldn't.
Also, I wanted to ask you about your love with Porzingis. In last night's game against OKC, Porzingis played, but I didn't really see him put up his usual numbers, which I could chalk up to Ibaka's defense and just OKC defense in general. Do you think we should be worried that teams are kind of zoning in on him and figuring him out, and his weaknesses could be a problem?
Not according to the Houston game. Didn't the Houston game he can hit hook shots with both with both our hands? Like the guy should have done some really athletic shit. Basically.
Yeah, no, the kind of shots he's hitting, there's no defense for, so I'm not worried about that. And as far as having a bad game here and there, the guy's 20, like he's gonna have some bad games.
He's gonna be inconsistent.
We expected him to suck way more often than he's been good, so this is already like exceeding expectations.
Yeah, we thought at the beginning of the season we said like he'll play 20 minutes a night and maybe get 10, 12 points a game best.
Yes.
Also, Melo's like 32 when he's inconsistent. Not that Porzingis is going to get better. I don't know. I think they made a comment after the OKC game. One thing they liked about the Porzingis was that he didn't try to force anything.
Mm-hmm.
So the Knicks were playing well. He didn't say like I need the ball. Like, but I agree with you also. Like if he can hit fadeaway, he can like turn around jumpers and like hook shots. There's not much. There's no one's going to be tall enough to really stop to really defend that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Kazim also writes he wouldn't mind being a temporary stat guy. Email me next weekend, please, as a reminder, because I've been terrible remembering this. But yes. P.S. Team Mark is the best team in the league. No offense, Jay, but you are more like the Bumblebee to Jay's Optimus Prime. I think he meant Mark's Optimus. Bumblebee is the yellow Transformer.
How do you know this?
I'm a huge nerd. I know all these random things.
Yeah, Team Mark. Would you prefer people when they vote for you? And I don't know why people are still voting, but if they instead of saying Team Jay, they say Team Pors. Like, would you just prefer everyone say everything about Porzingis?
Just change my name to Porzingis.
Yeah, Jay, you're like at the county clerk tomorrow, being like, I'd like to maintain my name to Porzingis. You're doing it 14 games into the NBA career of a guy. Oh, I didn't even know the guy with the Knicks that had the name Porzingis. That's a total coincidence. Anyhow, first name Kristaps.
Lorenzo writes, while Stupid Hair McGee is a great nickname, it doesn't solve the weekly problem you guys have with Vujacic. And thank you for spelling that with a Y. That helped me pronounce it. Did you know that his actual nickname is The Machine back from in the Laker days? Other suggestions for you guys to use: Girly Hair McGee and Sash Bob Vuchpants.
Shitbag player that shouldn't be on the court.
How is he even the Machine in the Laker days? He was never good.
What does the Machine mean? Like what? Like it's like giving him a tough guy nickname for a guy that no one like. The Machine. I mean, it's pretty automatic that he kind of does mediocre shit on the court.
Yeah, that's terrible. Okay. Well.
Okay. Girly hair Sasha.
I mean, I would waste time think of a nickname for him if I thought he was ever going to play, but it seems like he's completely out of the rotation.
I really hope so.
I do like Sash Bob Vooch pants though.
Here's a nickname for him, and I hope this kind of goes forward with his rest of the time on the Knicks. His nickname going forward could be Cleanthony's understudy.
I think I think we could call him. A good nickname would be "You suck, get off the court."
How about a good nickname would be Any Takers? Or a good nickname would be maybe the Nets will want him. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's it for emails.
Okay, cool. We have 1 or 50 questions on Facebook. Frank writes, I'm back on the Melo bandwagon. If he plays the way he did against Charlotte the other night, I think we can do some big things in the Eastern Conference, maybe 5 seed. So my question is, what are the chances Melo continues to play unselfish basketball the rest of the year? Over, under 35 games. I guess you're saying over, under him playing unselfish for 35 games?
Yeah.
What's going on, woman? What are you doing? Okay. They can see. Say hi to the podcast. That was my wife. Did everyone see that?
Oh, Steven isn't even in the room.
Steven, my wife walked in. She said hi.
And the camera didn't glitch out this time. You missed it.
Wow.
Missed it. Bruno writes, he was the machine because he could get hot from the 3-point line, but he was still a streak shooter.
Okay. How about the broken machine? Okay, so do you think he means over under 35 games of unselfish Melo?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that's about right. I would go slightly under.
I'll go slightly. I think it all depends on like guys like Porzingis playing well. I think Melo, not just Porzingis. I think now Melo feels like he can trust players around him, including Porzingis, and that'll get him to pass more.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still going to at some points be selfish, but I feel like, hey, the dude is playing really good defense lately, so I am a believer that he could change. Kind of. Evan writes, taking into account what you've seen so far, aside from trying to get the best players available, what do you think are the Knicks' greatest needs of the offseason? Good question.
Guards.
Guards. Yes. Shagerts replied, guards. Do you think we need, what is the more important? Do we need another shooting guard or we need a point guard?
Point guard.
Yeah, I guess that was kind of obvious. And do you know any idea what point guards are available?
Nope.
Is Conley available?
Yes.
Okay, Conley.
He's definitely going to get paid, but it's a pretty important position.
Yeah, I feel like we should have some money, right?
And I think Conley's pretty young. Isn't he only like 28?
Stat guy. I'm not going to look this up. I'll tell you, do you want to know the top NBA free agents for the offseason?
Just 2 point guards. We're running really long.
Oh, you think? I'll go really fast. Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Andre Drummond, Dwight Howard, Bradley Beal is like probably one of the better. Horford, Gasol, Wade, Whiteside, Conley. So Conley or Beal will probably
Paul
be the
Gasol, right?
Yeah, Paul Gasol. Conley or looking at this, Harrison Barnes also is, but he's restricted. Rondo. What do you think about Rondo?
Nope.
He's actually playing pretty decently.
He is, but no.
Jordan Clarkson. What do you think
about him? Yes.
He's restricted, but yeah.
I would like him. He's actually the only guard on my fantasy team. Well, no, Westbrook. Him and Westbrook are the only two that are playing good.
I would have to say that the targets should really be on this list. Should be Beal or Conley would probably be the most logical targets.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew writes, what does Jay's cat think of Jay's love for Porzingis and the Knicks in general?
I don't think my cat gives a crap about anything other than having me feed her.
Probably. Darryl writes, the game against the Rockets was great and for all the right reasons. High scoring, great rebounding, and tons of blocking, and virtually none of it by Melo. I'm not hating on Melo, but does this mean he can adjust his role over the season?
I mean, he could, in theory.
He got 4 fouls that kind of helped also.
5.
But, 5, yeah. 5. But I meant 4 fouls early. Yeah, I feel like he might be able to. I don't know. We'll see. I feel like he's gonna. I feel like he's a lot more motivated when he has good players around him.
Yeah.
Rosera writes, if Knicks make the playoffs, will there be another meetup?
I was thinking we should have another meetup maybe in January because
Yeah.
I have no school that whole month, so it'd be much easier to do that.
I'm going to say I had a good enough time. I had a really good time with the meetup. I would be down for one in January.
There you go.
And if the Knicks make the playoffs, we'll do one for the playoffs also.
So keep your eyes out for a Friday game in January. Details to come.
Like Jay's Jay's like, can you also send me the schedule?
Yeah.
Here's a question. You before the season started, predicted the Knicks would be outside of the eighth. You said they would be 9th or 10th seed in the East.
I said 9th, yeah.
Okay, 9th.
Do you know that there's 11 teams above 500 in the East and 5 in the West? When is the last time you can remember that happening?
That's insane. That's also after the last year or two, people have been saying break up the West. They're saying it's unfair to even make it an East and West because the West is so much better.
Yeah.
And now the East is playing better. So
yeah, but that's not going to last. By the end of the season, it'll get back to.
Well, it's getting closer to being even. But anyway, do you? So here's my question. My question to you
record-wise,
was
not talent-wise.
Whatever. My question to you is: do you still think the Knicks will be the 9th seed, or have you changed your mind at all? Right now, they're sitting in the 8th seed.
Right. I'm going to stick with my prediction.
So
I don't like changing the
non-believer asshole.
Well, I mean,
where are the Celtics still going to make the playoffs?
Yeah. I mean, I think I picked the Celtics.
You're a Celtics fan. You're a closet Celtics fan.
I still think the Pacers suck. I know they're winning, and I don't understand it.
Well, they do have Paul George back.
I mean, he's been playing insane.
And they got rid of Roy Hibbert. That was 2 very strong positives.
Yeah, but like the rest of that team's terrible.
Yeah, they are winning though. I am surprised how well they're playing. There was Sports Illustrated or ESPN had the two most surprising teams in the NBA. They said the Knicks and the Dallas Mavericks.
I mean, if you knew Wes Matthews is going to be healthy, Parsons, Matthews, Dirk is not a bad team.
No, but it is a little surprising though.
They just lost by 3 to the Thunder.
Okay. Q Gun.
Oh, he told us to call him Q.
Thanks for telling me that after I pronounced his name.
We must have massacred it last week because we got a message that said, call me Q.
Okay, Q writes. Sorry, Q. Writes, besides Jose Calderon, who has the worst contract in the Knicks?
Worst contract on the Knicks. It would have to be either Melo or Stupid Hair McGee.
Yeah, I was gonna say it must be Stupid Hair. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not even that upset about those. I guess the worst contract still by far is Calderon, even though he's playing better.
Yeah, definitely.
Annabelle writes, how do you think the Brooklyn Nets are feeling about Bargs? What a bum.
I love how they were trying to talk themselves into it before the season started.
Everyone tries to talk themselves into Bargs.
Yep.
It never works out.
We did it too.
No, we did. We totally did it too. Do you want to hear Bargs' numbers?
Sure.
He's shooting 38% rounding up from the field, 29% rounding up from three-point land, and he's a total disaster.
Yep.
And his points per game, he's getting them. Where is he? Oh, where is Bargs? Bargs. Why did I lose him?
How many minutes a game is he playing?
Oh, here he is. He is playing 12.8 minutes, rounding up 13 minutes a game, which is 13 minutes too long, and averaging about 5 points a game.
All right.
Yeah, and his per is 7.
Yeah, but as per 36-minute stats is about 15 points a game.
Ooh, Bargs, you guys are playing more minutes. It's going to work out for you, Nets.
You know what? I strongly suggest the Nets play him 36 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Then you won't
Grant
have to figure out the per 36-minute stat because he'll be playing 36 minutes.
Yeah. Grant writes, what percentage of the fourth quarter plays with less than a minute to go will go ISO Melo this season?
90.
I'm gonna say, as the season wears on, it's gonna be like 50-50.
Yeah.
I say as the Knicks plays better, Derek Fisher will get a brain and stop letting Melo do that.
Who is a better owner? I'm getting these from the chat room. James
I'm getting these from God.
James Dolan or Prokhorov?
I thought Prokhorov sold the team already.
I think he's trying to sell the team.
At a huge profit. That's
a tough one, right?
Prokhorov has been pretty horrendous.
I mean, Dolan screwed us for 20 years, but he kind of backed off in the last year and a half.
Yeah, Prokhorov has only had the team for a short period of time.
He got the team, massacred it, and now wants out.
Well, I'd have to say Prokhorov is a better owner because when he does massacre the team, he tries to get rid of it.
Yeah, that's true. He realizes he's not cut out for it, and he learns.
If Dolan said, this whole Isaiah thing didn't work out, I'm sorry, I'm selling the team, everyone would say, yay, Dolan, yay, Dolan.
That is true.
Yeah.
You swayed me.
Okay, Harry writes.
I think you skipped a Q question.
Oh, you're right, I did. Are you like reading over my shoulder? Q writes, who is the biggest free agent Knicks? Who is the biggest free agent Knicks miss out this summer? Rondo, Monroe, Aldridge, Gasol, Jordan, etc.
I guess Aldridge.
Well, again, I feel like also with the Knicks, how well would the lineup have been with Melo, Porzingis, and Aldridge?
I mean, he would just be playing Robin Lopez's spot.
But Lopez is probably a
better
defender.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not totally upset about any of these guys.
I mean, Gasol or Jordan would be the better. Like, it would be a very good defender at center.
No, wasn't that Paul Gasol or was it? Oh no, it was Marc Gasol. Never mind.
No, it's Marc Gasol.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, if Marc Gasol or Jordan would be, I'd be very happy with them over Lopez. But I don't think Monroe, Aldridge would have made any sense. And Rondo would somehow destroy our team.
Yeah, Rondo's a mess.
Yeah, I don't care. And I know he's playing better, but Sacramento still sucks. So I don't know how well it's working out for them.
Yeah.
Harry writes, what would this is a question that Jay would never have read. What would happen if Mark's wife was to sleep with one of the members of the Knicks? Would he leave or oversee it as it is a Knicks member with a black penis who penetrated Mark, lovely white girl, Southern belle of a wife? Paul responds, good, we're not going completely without black penis dildo jokes for Mark. I'd like to point out that I don't think Porzingis has a black penis. So and I don't think Sasha has a black penis either. I think not every member of the Knicks has a black penis. Secondly, I guess if it was going to be Porzingis, maybe we could raise that child to become an NBA legend and retire off of that.
Sure.
So if I could raise that child for like 20 years and he starts making bank, maybe that would work out.
All right.
Daddy, why am I a foot and a half taller than you and mommy? Shagert's Pasty Gentile, his full name. How can Knicks fans get people to stop with the Knicks fan booed the Porzingis pick crap? The fans that booed seem to justify it by saying, I had no idea who Kristaps was, which is a lame excuse. It's 2015. A quick search on the YouTube brings up some very impressive videos of taps in Sevilla. Really, it was simple homework.
It's true. It wasn't very hard to Google a highlight clip.
Yeah. Also, simple homework would have told you that he didn't play his games in Latvia. Jay?
Next question.
I think you're giving fans too much crap. That's all. You still think fans deserve a lot of crap for this?
I don't get the point of going to the draft and then booing whoever they pick.
No, it's a Nick ritual.
Like, what?
I don't know.
Why are you going?
Who would they have cheered? I guess they would have cheered Moutier.
I guess.
Because at that point, all the big names were already off. All the major
right.
ones
Russell,
were off.
Okafor, and Towns were gone, so I don't know who they were expecting us to draft.
I mean, it would have been Moutier. Would have been Herza Venginga, whatever.
You know what? It's because these are dumbasses that only know they watch the Final Four in college basketball, and they'll root for a name they heard of. Like, I bet they would have cheered if they got Kaminsky because, I've heard of him.
I also think Porzingis, he was hurt in some ways as far as like reputation wise, just because of Bargs. Everyone just immediately said he's gonna be the next Bargs.
Those same guys would have been like, "Yeah, we drafted Sam Decker. I've heard of him."
Bruno writes, what you guys think the Knicks should do with the last roster spot available? Are you worried that the type surrounding KP could hurt him in the long run? I guess the first question, what should do? I didn't know they had a last roster spot available, and I forgot that.
Travis Trice, and no, I don't think it'll hurt him at all. I think this guy seems really motivated, and I think he's going to use the cheering as a further motivation.
I think the 29-point game, they asked him afterwards, and he said, "Yeah, that's one game. I have to do this more. I have to do this consistently."
Exactly. He's been like really just.
I mean, it's like his responses in the interviews. You're like, oh my god, he's like, he can see the big picture.
Yeah.
John writes, what should our record really be? I figured if we gave back the Raptors game that we should have lost, but we take all the games back that we should have won. Had Fisher shorten the rotation and not insisted we play confused, unfamiliar, insecure, and cold players off our bench. My count is 9-3, with our only legitimate losses being San Antonio, Atlanta, and Toronto. We should be making headlines and be the talk of the league behind Golden State, but because of Fisher, we're at 500. I'll take 500, but we're way better than our record indicates.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going to be growing pains with Fisher.
I mean, I'm just saying you have to give him some credit for believing in Porzingis from day one. You have to give him credit for sticking with Calderon, who's playing better now. Finding guys like he played Quinn, but then he went to Seraphin, and Seraphin played well. He's getting some. There's some positive. It's going to be growing pains.
Yeah.
George writes, let's talk about Porzingis putting up a legendary game in front of the Knicks legends. It was obvious he was going to have a good game because of what happened last game. The Rookie of the Year award is clearly between Towns and Porzingis. What will it come down to in the end?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a two-way race.
It's really, really early.
Yeah.
We're 14 games in. I know it's early, but we'll see what Porzingis does the rest of the way. I think it's going to be a lot of this where some games he doesn't do that much and some games he does a whole lot. Towns is probably going to be more consistent throughout the season.
Right. He's been more consistent, and he's right there stat-wise. Porzingis has the high game with 29, but Towns is 28. Porzingis has 7 blocks. Towns has 6. So,
yeah, and right now Towns leads in most rookie stats. He has 16 points a game. He shoots 50% from the field. He's got 10 rebounds, 2 blocks. He's having a very good rookie year. I feel like we shouldn't get so worked up on whether he's better than Towns. I think Towns is going to be a star in this league also. Yeah. I think
if we end up with the second best draft pick with the 4th pick, that's a winning draft.
Yeah. I think both those guys are going to be really, really good. I think Porzingis, I don't know who has the big. I mean, Towns has a very high ceiling also. I think they're both going to be star players in this league.
Yeah, absolutely. They're definitely going to be the future. As LeBron starts fading, those guys are going to take over.
So if we get one of the 2 stars in this draft, I'm fine with it. Even if Towns ends up being a little better, who knows?
Co-rookie of the year?
Sure, why not? Didn't Melo and LeBron get that? Wait. Did Melo and LeBron split rookie of the year, or am I crazy?
I think you're crazy.
You want to look this up? Rookie of the year's NBA?
This guy's handle is Knicks fan since Melo.
What do you say?
He wrote the co-rookie of the year, and he also asked, will Dolan ever sell the team? And the answer to that is no.
He's saying that it wasn't. I'm crazy about it, or?
I'm saying you're crazy.
Oh. Well, what the hell did that guy say?
It was his question, co-rookie of the year for Towns and Porzingis.
Oh, okay. I'll go back. I'll find it. There was one co-rookie of the year, I thought. I don't remember what it was.
It was probably that year where they were everyone was mediocre and they didn't know who to pick.
LeBron got it. You're right. LeBron got it. Wasn't there one year where there was co-MVPs? And I'm just I don't see it. I thought it was at least maybe it was close that year.
We are an hour and a half in, so we got to do lightning round now.
No, I'm going to take my time figuring out the answer to this question, Jack. Okay, so John writes, so MSG decided to fire Gus Johnson and go with Kenny Albert. WTF, exclamation points, a lot of them. This guy is terrible. At least give us Spiro Ditas. Kenny Albert makes Knicks games sound like those corny, boring Fox broadcasts from small market teams like the Pelicans and the Hornets. I feel bad for Clyde. He sounds so alone. Clyde and Breen are legendary together. I cringe thinking about what happens after Clyde leaves.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a sad day.
Oh, God. I really wish there was a good Knicks, like a Knicks player from the past besides Clyde. Like, I wish there was a guy from like the 90s who would actually like do the games with Clyde.
Yeah. I'm trying to...
I've said this before, but the Mets have like two of their better players from the '86 World Series team doing the Mets games now, and it's fantastic. They're throwing stories from when we were good.
I know. I can't think who. I mean, isn't I don't know how eloquent like a lot of like I don't know how good Oakley would be in there.
I have no idea. I would even take even if it was a guy that like wasn't that amazing. I don't know. It would be nice to have it'd be nice if they could find a better partner for Clyde. Stephen writes, is
Charles
Mark's...
Smith and Jared Jeffries.
Wait, what?
Charles Smith and Jared Jeffries
Is the answer to what?
The new broadcasting booth.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Stephen writes, is Mark's son a Knicks fan? Yeah, I guess. He seems to... Actually, I quizzed him the other night, and I was like, my favorite football team. He's like, what football team do we like? He said the Jets. What Mets team do we like? The Mets. And what basketball team do we like? And he said the Mets. But and then I remember, I was like, hey, remember that team you always say loses? And he's like, didn't remember. But he's a Knicks fan. He's gonna be a Knicks fan. I have to get him a Porzingis jersey. Ralph writes, let's talk about J.R. Smith just for fun. We did that already, but do you want to talk? Do you want to? Should we do an interview with J.R. Smith? Jay, do you go for that?
Sure. You want to ask me?
Aren't you J.R. Jack?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, J.R. I've heard you had some off the court troubles.
Yo, I don't know what you're talking about.
You choked a fan. I don't know if he was a fan of yours, but is it cool to choke a 19-year-old?
So what's the trouble? I put him in his place. There's no more trouble.
Why are you being? Well, I guess you don't frustrate me anymore because you're on the Cleveland. So screw Cleveland. But are you up to your? Would you say you're up to your old ways again? Being a distraction for your team?
What's so distracted? I was getting everyone in line. Now everyone at the pizza place knows who the man is.
Okay, thank you, JR. Harry writes, I'm a Knicks fan, but some of us are so effing delusional. You really think we can get Kevin Durant next season? Really? We are not even a championship contender, and one effing rookie already has you thinking Katie is coming NYC. Come on already. And Nathan writes, a couple trades over the next 12 to 18 months to strengthen our mid-tier depth, then add one more top-tier player, and this team will compete in the East. I like how Nathan thinks, and I think Harry's right about this.
Knicks fan since Mella helped you out. Jason Kidd and Grant Hill. Co-rookies of the year.
Oh, that was a long time ago, but I did remember that happening. Steven writes, everyone's posting in this shitty Knicks thread needs to go over to the Brink page and post some Brink questions, please. By the way, I looked at the questions for Brink for Tuesday, and there's like 50 questions and like 40 are from Steven.
Yep.
Yeah.
He told me his goal is to get it to 100 before the episode starts.
Oh, that's great, Steven. Wonderful. We might have some stuff we want to talk about besides your questions, but okay, cool. Steven writes,
it's your show.
What'd you say?
I said it's your show. It's the Steven show now.
It's the Steven show. Is Jay's girlfriend a Knicks fan?
She was until they traded away all the players she likes.
Does she like Porzingis?
I'm trying to recruit her to Porzingis.
I mentioned Porzingis to my wife the other day, and she had heard of him.
Oh, really?
She knew of his existence, didn't really know exactly. She's like, is that a Knick player? I think I've heard of him.
Word's getting around.
Chris Porzing writes, is Stephen A., I assume this is actually Porzingis writing, is Stephen A. allowed to be a Knicks fan? Every time I watch the old videos of him bashing Porzingis on ESPN, I just Laugh, LOL.
He shouldn't be.
Do you think Stephen A should just do you think he should be humble enough to just go, "Hey, I got this wrong"?
He should be, but he'll never do it.
Yeah, it'd be nice for just I would just say, "Hey, I got that whole crap about Lance Thomas wrong, Jay," and I'd be done with it and just move forward.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like that kind of guy.
Porzingis, I myself wasn't loving the pick when it happened, but I quickly just said, "Hey, he's a Knick," and I got excited about him pretty fast.
Yeah, he seems like the kind of guy that would just keep doubling down on what he said. He'll try and justify it rather than admit he was wrong.
Francisco writes, after the game at OKC, how frustrated are you the Knicks can't close out games earlier, or is a win no matter what?
I mean, I would love to see them actually close out games a little better, but it's our fourth win. It was our third win in a row, so you can't complain too much. That is going to be a problem if they don't start getting their act together soon. But
a win's a win.
I was happy they won. Yes.
Yeah, I feel like you can't complain so much after a win. Just get over it and move on, and complain about when they blow it.
If it was another blown lead that for a loss, then I would have been very upset.
You have to assume also the Knicks, the team is winning games. They'll get better about this.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Mike writes, does Fisher pick a name out of the hat, then roll a dice to see how many minutes he'll play when making subs?
It does seem kind of random, doesn't it?
I would have to say Fisher's method is probably not quite as complex as Mike's the answer. He probably just turns his head. Oh, Quinn, I didn't see you. Okay, get in the game, Quinn. Quinn, what's your favorite number from 1 to 10? Q
That's
writes,
how many minutes you're playing today.
Yes. Q writes, by the way, should I start accepting who's this guy? People are asking me to be friends.
It's weird. We did the show for 5 years, and I got one request, and in the last 2 months, I've gotten about 8 or 9.
Yeah, are you accepting everyone's?
I'm accepting ones I recognize or ones that send me messages saying they're from a Knicks group. During this show, I just got one from a guy I don't recognize from the podcast, so I'm not going to accept that one.
Jacob Martinovic?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't recognize that one. But the other ones I have recognized. But
yeah, I got one from Jacob too. He's probably a listener, but send us a message if you are, because I'm not just going to accept random people.
And then I'm like, should I do I want it I don't know what will happen if they all become my friends on Facebook.
I'm just afraid one of them is going to be a chronic overposter, and I'm going to have to unfriend them. If you friend request us, don't post 10 times a day.
Francisco writes, Mike writes, does Fisher, we did that right. Q writes, who should play at crunch time? Good question. Fisher was waiting for the answer for this one. I think, who do you think, Jay?
Well, it'll definitely have to be Porzingis, Melo, Galloway.
Those are probably the three obvious ones. I would say, do you think Calderon's getting too many minutes at the end of games?
I think Calderon is going to have to be on a see how he's doing basis. If he's getting torched all game, you don't want him out there.
I'd much rather having but then again, he can hit shots, so you might want him on offense. I wouldn't mind I'd rather have a Flalo and Galloway be our late minute guards.
Yeah. But I mean, if Calderon's having a hot night, then you play him.
I feel like you could stick Porzingis. The other night, they I guess in the Houston game, they stuck Porzingis at center and Melo at the power forward, which made a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, Melo does usually play better at power forward anyway.
I don't mind having Lopez out there for it. It's not the easiest answer because you don't So let's say you do center, Porzingis, power forward. Basically, who's your shooting? Who's your small forward?
Well, it depends if Melo's at the
Melo's at the power forward. Porzingis at center, and we already agreed in Callaway and
I want to have Lance in there for defense.
What do you want to have out there?
You might want to have Lance in there for defense.
No, I know. I said we already said Galloway. Oh, Lance Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yet you hate Thomas.
I know. I'm so torn. I don't think there should be a set lineup that you have out there in crunch time, though.
let's just say generally, like you have to pick a lineup.
Yeah, but no, Woodson would be like, I don't care, if Jerry and Grant is 14 for 14, I have my set crunch time lineup, and that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, I think you have to really based on the circumstances and who the other team is. Absolutely, I agree. But I guess if you have to pick one just right now, Lance Thomas might be your small forward.
Yeah.
Paul writes, would you rather Melo get 10 assists a game or Porzingis score at least 20 nightly? Ooh.
I think Melo 10 assists. I think if Melo averages 10 assists a game, we're winning a lot more games.
I would agree with that. But either one would be. That's a pretty good question, though, Paul. George writes, has Jay got his KP6 jersey yet? Rumor is they're selling out fast.
They did.
Yeah,
They
apparently
sold
it's
out.
really hot.
Yeah, they sold out.
Do you got your jersey yet, Jay?
No. Wade
Is
Wilson
is the tattoo on your crotch good enough?
Wade Wilson wrote that he wants to give the stupid hair McGee nickname to Miles Turner instead.
Ooh, let's look a picture of Miles Turner.
Yeah, Miles Turner was he's on Indiana, right?
Yeah. I don't know if this is the worst. I don't know.
Stupid hair McGee's definitely worse than that. I mean, it's not
I
good.
kind of think Jeremy Lin might be worse than stupid hair.
Yeah,
This is not that bad. I mean, this is like not like a positive haircut.
it's not on stupid hair McGee's level of stupid.
Stupid hair McGee's like I really have struggled like stupid hair or Jeremy Lin because Jeremy Lin's haircut is idiotic right now.
It is.
Shumpert's is pretty bad also, right? Doesn't Shumpert have a new haircut that's pretty bad? Or am I crazy?
I don't know. George Hill bleached his hair blonde. That looks really bad.
I'm gonna look this up also. I can't find the blonde hair. Let me see if I can find blonde. What's that noise, Jay? The hour's up. Oh, this looks really bad also. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. What was that noise?
That was a message on Facebook.
What was your message, Jay?
Oh, Clippers game's coming up. We need to get fake Mike Woodson on.
Oh. Yeah, email him. Okay, Ralph writes, where am I? What the I lose? Okay, yeah. George writes, flashback. When Melo was a rookie, do you think he was ripped of the Rookie of the Year award, and they gave it to LeBron just for being LeBron? What key elements should voters look for when they're voting for Rookie of the Year? Yeah, Jay, do you want to re-argue the 2004 Rookie of the Year award?
Didn't LeBron lead his team to the playoffs and Melo didn't?
I forget. Did Cleveland go to playoffs LeBron's first year?
I'm almost positive.
Probably. Melo had a very good. I remember they both the stats were really both had very strong stats.
Maybe not. Maybe LeBron didn't make the playoffs. I don't know. Whatever. LeBron had a really good year. It wasn't like such a disparity that you're like, oh my god, I can't believe Melo didn't get it.
Who was last year's Rookie of the Year, Jay?
Last year's Rookie of the Year was
Wiggins.
What? No, wasn't it like Oladipo?
Was it Oladipo? I think the Rookie of the Year was a little bit overrated. Actually, I have. You know what? I have it right here. I have it still pulled up from earlier. It was Wiggins last year?
Oh, it was Wiggins.
I mean, a lot of guys end up turning out really good, but like Michael Carter Williams won the year before, who's pretty good, but Philly got rid of him pretty fast.
Yeah.
Lillard, Irving, Griffin, Tyreek Evans got it. Didn't really work out well for the Kings. Whatever. I mean, I don't think it's a big deal. I think for Rookie of the Year, just best stats. I don't think it matters if your team goes to playoffs. What do you think?
I mean, it should be taken into consideration.
Yeah. I feel like it's not like an MVP award. You're really just looking for the best player. You're not looking for like.
Also, I don't think you should. I think you should consider padded stats. Like Okafor is going to put up padded stats, but does that mean he's good if he's shooting a crappy percentage, but he's taking like 25 shots a game?
Is Okafor's percentage that bad?
It's not great for a guy who does nothing but stay under the rim.
Let me see this. I feel like it wasn't that bad. It is, he shoots 44. Sorry, that's on the year. 46. It's like 47%, which is a pretty good field goal percentage, except for the fact you're right. All his shots are from like 5 feet.
There's a video of him taking a 5-foot shot and he misses by 2 feet.
Yeah, I just saw that. He's terrible at the line.
Yeah, he's terrible free throws. I mean,
he's a pretty. Let's not even bash him that much. He's a pretty good player.
Yeah, but I don't think he should be like, hey, this guy should get Rookie of the Year because he's putting up 17 shots a game on a 0-win team.
It's probably going to be Towns at this point. But if you had to do it today, you'd give it to Towns before all of them. Ralph writes. George writes, KP6 dominating against the Rockets. Thoughts? Kind of did that already. Ralph writes, what song does Jay sing in the shower about Porzingis? Jay?
We are the champions. That was right. LeBron did not go to the playoffs his rookie year. Melo did.
I thought Jay would have said, when I think about you, I touch myself. Ralph writes, or it would have been, I could see Jay singing about Porzingis, you are the wind beneath my wings. Ralph writes, which former NBA player is most like Porzingis? I guess which current, everyone would have said Dirk. So which former? I don't know.
Has there been anybody like him? I don't know. I don't think so.
I think he's a pretty new kind of player.
Yeah.
Athletic at 7'3". What nickname shall we give Porzingis? What's your favorite of the nicknames?
He hasn't had a really good one. I mean, I feel like KP6 is too generic.
I mean, I don't mind giving him KP just for short.
But you already got KD. You have KD and KP.
I kind of like Porzingis is a unique enough name that I don't mind just saying Porzingis or Zingis. I like Zingis, but he doesn't seem to like Zingis that much.
Yeah.
Kristaps, Taps. I don't know. There's nothing like K-Pors.
I hate that. No. I remember 5 years ago, everyone was doing that. Use the first letter of the first name and half the last name.
Yeah, I don't know. K-Zingis? Yeah,
We'll KP.
I guess it's Porzingis is not a bad name. I don't know. I don't mind doing KP for short, but it's not Mike writes, can KP win Rookie of the Year? And what's happened with Lopez and O'Quinn as of late?
I don't know. I have no idea what happened to O'Quinn. Wasn't it like the first 2 or 3 games we were like super, super excited about him?
You know what's one thing? He's been like okay. I mean, I guess he's been a little bit exposed as being not that great also. The Lopez thing, what's interesting with the Lopez thing is the Knicks of the past, maybe prior to Phil Jackson getting here, was your contract really dictated your playing time.
Yeah.
Lopez has a pretty big contract. It doesn't always get in there in the fourth quarter. So Derek Fisher, in his defense, is not dictating minutes based on contract.
Which is nice.
Yeah. Can KP win Rookie of the Year? Yeah. Let's see how the rest of the season goes. Frank writes, when did Quincy Acy change his name to Kyle O'Quinn? Seriously. Good comment, Frank. That might be the comment of the show.
Yeah.
Rosero writes, I can't believe it took this long to get to Rosero. Rosero writes, guys' opinions on Friday night's Thunder game, Lance and Gallo, 5 steals. Wow. This guy is top solid.
I mean, Galloway's an absolute steal right now, and Thomas is starting to look really good.
Ooh. Did someone say Thomas looks really good?
Starting to.
Okay. Yeah, Galloway is in a nice pay. It makes me think that guy Travis Trice could be a good addition. Who knows? But
I'm on a hot streak. Oh, what was it? Grant sent us a message. Apparently, in an episode in 2014, he said, I predicted that the Knicks would tank in 2015, have the worst record, and end up with the 4th draft pick, which is very close to what happened.
Wow. Good job. I have a question for the Westchester Knicks. I don't know if you know this. So what's his name was on the team for briefly? Who was the guy that they drafted? The guy that used to be in the NBA?
Who are you talking about?
On the Westchester Knicks. You remember
Jimmer.
Yeah. And then another team just signed him, right?
And they waived him already.
Who had signed him?
Memphis. They waived him after like 2 games or something.
Okay. The question's not really about Jimmer, but as much as like, what rights do the Knicks have to these players? In the sense of like, Travis Trice is playing well. Can any team take him, or the Knicks have any special rights to any of the players?
That is a very good question that I don't have the answer to.
There must be some like a certain amount of players where the Knicks have extra rights to on this team.
I think so. Like I think if they probably have more dibs on like the guys who are on the summer league team than they do guys who just join the team like Jimmer.
Yeah, I don't know if it actually works. The technical term is dibs, but there must be something where the Knicks have a certain amount of players where they have like extra. There has to be.
Yeah, I would like to know that.
Because also, why would the Knicks just go like? Why have the West as your Knicks? Why did the Knicks just go around and just sign from any team?
Yeah. It was the Pelicans. I thought it was the Grizzlies.
I don't know. Whatever.
I guess it was the Pelicans. You guys would know better than us. We're only the ones with the podcast.
I pretty much that's not a really good like. Ooh, I mean, we have a podcast because first off, like having a podcast doesn't mean that much, and secondly, we don't know jack shit. We prove it over and over again. So the fans probably know better than us.
It must be so frustrating when we say stuff like that and then don't correct ourselves.
We get
People are
stuff
just
wrong.
like screaming into their headset.
We get stuff wrong on the show all the time. If we just had a normal stats guy, at least the live chat room acts as a helpful stat guy. They correct us sometimes.
Yeah, it's like correction by what do you call it when there's a large group of people?
Wisdom of the crowd.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, so Galloway, Rosero writes, Galloway is the truth. If we did not have Zinger, Galloway would be getting a lot more attention. I don't know. Do you think, I mean, like the Knicks fans give him attention, but I feel like to really get attention in the NBA, you have to put up a lot of points.
Yeah, points. Everyone just looks at points.
Or like a lot of rebounds. You have to put up a major stat. If you put up like 10 assists a game, everyone notices. If you play very good defense,
nobody notices. Yeah,
he's shooting a high percentage of 3-pointers, but people don't. I think it's too early. If he leads the NBA in 3-point shooting or is top 3 in the NBA, then people will notice.
Yeah,
but I think it's too early for people to make a big deal about it. Rosero writes, Mark needs to get on his knees and open his mouth and say sorry to Jay for questioning his Porzingis decision. Okay, Rosero writes, do people replies if Melo is traded, Porzingis won't get to develop to his full potential due to all teams double teaming him and giving him their full attention. That is a good point, Rosero.
I don't know. I don't agree with that because it's not like you're going to trade Melo for nobody.
Right, but does it help Porzingis develop a lot? Like you have a guy, you have to now worry about Melo. You can't just like leave double team Porzingis now.
Right, but I'm saying you're going to get a good player from Melo.
Yes,
it's not like it's not like they're going to insert stupid hair McGee and then it's like now you could double Porzingis. Like it's going to be another good player.
To be fair though, if you're trading Melo, you're trading him for the draft picks more than the players.
Yes, it'll definitely be a downgrade. I guess it would probably hurt the development a little bit because you can't double Porzingis because then Melo's open.
Yeah, it makes the team better. It would hurt the team, definitely.
Yeah.
Rosero writes, how do you feel when people say trade Melo like stupid idiots? I know how Rosero feels about it because he called them stupid idiots.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it, Jay?
I'm one of those people usually.
Okay, Jay, as a stupid idiot, how do you still justify trading Melo?
Because as all our young guys get into their peak, Melo's going to be old, and it doesn't make sense.
I think if you're trying to build for a title, then you figure if you want to put yourself in the best position in the next 5 years, you might want to get more young players.
Yeah, it's as soon as Grant and Porzingis start hitting their prime, Melo's going to be like 35 and not good. It just doesn't. I feel like you'd be better off getting draft picks now and having a fully young team. I mean, look what happened with the Thunder. They got all those draft picks, and then they made the finals. And they probably would have made multiple finals if the owner wasn't cheap and got rid of Harden.
Yeah, I'm not going to revisit the argument about trading Harden with you, but
no, I don't want to get into that again either.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, there is a solid case. If you can get enough for Melo, it would make sense. He's not going to be a salary dump. You have to get some serious draft picks for him to make it worthwhile. The problem is also the teams that might want him are teams that are going to be closer where the draft picks are going to be worse.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to get like a number one. You're not going to get like a top 10 draft pick for him because none of those teams are going to trade for Melo and then suck when they got Melo. Actually, the only team that would make any sense in that regard would be trading him to the Lakers, because they still might have a bad record at the end.
Right. Also, you get 2 draft picks. One of them's like 3-4 years down the road. The team might get Melo, be good for a couple years, but then suck again by the time that second draft pick rolls around.
I mean, ideally, you would trade him for another young player and the draft pick. So the draft pick doesn't have to be as high, but like you maybe the Lakers do the trade and you say, hey, I have a lot of faith in Russell, which seems like a bad idea.
Right.
Or I have a lot of faith in who's the other guy they got? Which it won't make a lot of sense either. Well, maybe you trade him to it seems like a limited amount of teams that are going to make sense to trade him to.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, though. All right, let's move on.
Okay,
We're about to hit 2 hours.
Holy shit. I'm glad we started early, at least.
Yeah.
Andrew writes, what do you think of the throwback jerseys from midweek? Any other throwback jerseys you'd like to see?
I thought they were a little plain.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan. Andrew writes, did you end up calling the we didn't even do that yet. We're not going to do it in this show. We'll do it next show. Did you end up calling the Canada Tourism Board asking about beasts from a few episodes ago? I think we tried the Canadian Tourism Board, but I don't think they answered. But I still want to do Man in the Street, but we were running really long. Andrew writes, what is Jay's cat's name?
CJ.
Josh writes, are you going to change your cat's name to Porzingis? Josh writes, what's going on with Lance Thomas? He has completely turned it around.
Again, I wouldn't say completely, but he's turning it around.
Remember when we got Lance Thomas and we assumed the Knicks were just going to cut him?
Yeah.
Stone writes, is it time for Jay to admit he was wrong about Lance? Harry writes, thoughts on Charlie Sheen and his tiger blood actually being AIDS blood?
Harry writes, brink of sanity for some jokes.
Yeah, I was moving on, Jay. You don't have to point that out. Harry writes, why is Jay going to grad school? Is he being promised a higher position, or will it be the degree first, then search and in what is it advertising, general studies? These are questions for Brink. Harry, write your questions for Brink, and Jay will answer them. And Stephen will appreciate it because he wants these questions on the Brink thread. Harry writes, how do you guys meet up? How did the meetup go, and did it meet expectations? Yes. Stephen writes, is Mark's wife into sports? No. Stephen writes, would you make a deal with Satan to have Dolan killed? No catch, no hooks. He's only asking for $50. Expenses. First of all, I'm not sure why Satan needs expenses paid for. Secondly, I don't think any of us want Dolan murdered.
No, I just want him to not own the Knicks.
Yeah, but I don't think I would have to say I'd prefer him to own the Knicks if murder was the only way to get him off the Knicks.
Wade Wilson writes, which happens first, Warriors lose a game or Sixers win a game? I'm thinking Sixers win a game.
I gotta think the Warriors lose a game.
Warriors are now up by 18 points against the Nuggets with 3 minutes left. And they have an easy schedule until Christmas.
I know who the Sixers are. The Knicks play the Sixers pretty soon. So I think the Knicks' first December game is against the I think they have back-to-back Philly and the Nets.
Didn't that happen 2 years ago where Philly was about to break some losing streak and they beat the Knicks?
No, I think the Knicks actually beat them.
There was 1 year where somebody was on a massive streak.
I think it was Philly, but I think the Knicks beat Philly and then they lost and then Philly beat another team. I don't think the Knicks actually blew it for it.
I'm pretty sure it was the Knicks.
Maybe I'm just trying to block that shit out. Stephen writes, Chris writes, or Chris Porzingis, or Porzing, Jay, you made one of the potential greatest draft predictions of all time. #Zingsanity. Yep, no denying that. Jay's been calling this for a long time. I cannot believe you got it right, and I cannot believe how right you are. Iman writes, I feel like after the win against OKC, it shows the defense was great, but how can they improve the offense and get Porzingis moved more involved? So I saw an interesting stat pretty recently, and this it was that the Knicks shooting percentage, and this was a couple games ago, but the Knicks shooting percentage was worse than last season. But the Knicks were winning games obviously because the defense is better. Mm-hmm. But it was just interesting the fact that the shooting percentage was actually like worse than last season.
Yeah, that is interesting.
I think the Knicks probably are shooting a little better now. But Well, what do you think about?
Well, I mean, at the beginning of the season, Porzingis and Calderon were shooting, and Melo were all shooting terrible, and all three of them are shooting much better now. So
I think a lot of it will naturally get better. And I think part of it also, now the players are playing together more, they'll trust each other more, and really they'll play better because they just from knowing each other.
Yeah.
Rosero writes, Marc and Jay, it saddens me to inform you that I've just farted. Thank you, Rosero. What did we learn today?
I'm glad we had time for that one.
Yeah, I'm glad we fit that in. That's a great question, Rosero. You really contributed tonight. If you wrote some questions on the comments or anywhere else, just post them in the thread. It's easier for us to ask the questions. Answer that. Anyway, what did we learn today, Jay? This show's gone really long.
It has. We learned that Porzingis is the best.
We learned that Porzingis is Porzingis, and we're going to name the show Porzingis because this is better than Linsanity. No one has to say this is. You can't say Linsanity was better than this.
No, definitely not.
I know that was out of nowhere, but we were all wondering. The question was, is Linsanity? Is Lin real? Is he for real? We know Porzingis. You really think this guy's for real?
Not only that, we have him locked up for at least 4 years and probably 9.
Yeah, you legitimately think Porzingis. It makes sense. He's a guy with all the potential. Lin kind of came out of nowhere and wasn't even drafted.
Yeah.
And he's doing it on defense too. What else did we learn, Jay?
We should also say that you could go to ustream.tv/channel/Knicks-podcast, and that is where we do our live shows. If you hit the follow button, you'll get an email every time we go live, so you don't miss the live shows.
Every time a Knicks podcast fan hits follow, an angel gets a wing.
There you go.
Yeah.
And iTunes. Hit subscribe on iTunes. We got to get back to the #1 Knicks podcast.
Yeah.
On iTunes.
And also, if you know Lance Thomas, tell him that Jay is sorry.
Yes.
That's it. Let's end the show.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We will be doing a Brink of Sanity episode on Tuesday.
Before Thanksgiving.
And then we'll be back probably next Sunday for the next Knicks podcast.
Yeah. My guess going forward is the Knicks shows will always be Sunday night. Brink will be some point during the week. And if Jay ever finishes school, we'll start doing Knicks a little more often. Then we'll start doing some 2 a week Knicks shows.
Right.
Okay. We're out.
Bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go.
This is the end.
Say goodbye. You better go away.
I'm gonna leave you.
It's the end. Goodbye. Goodbye. Just leave me alone. Feels so good to say goodbye. I'm sick and tired and I'm saying goodbye. Goodbye, girl.
Goodbye, 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 everybody.
Hi, this is Maury Moreland Morrison, here to tell you Geico has more than just great savings. Much more. Geico's been around for more than 75 years, back when they were using Morse code. Sorry, that's just my sense of humor. What's more, with Geico you get 24/7 access to licensed agents on the app, online, or over the phone, so you can talk to them at night or in the morning. So forevermore, just know that no other auto insurer has more than Geico. More power to you. Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.